Happy Sunday. So, I've been stacking everything together for a while now. And basically, I'm doing all this because my emotional life is pretty much a mess. From my explorations into my shadow puppet side, it just keeps going down and down and down. So, no wonder it's been a trouble for me to try to get the stuff I need to get done when my emotions jump out at me and just pulls me into the underworld. So, I've developed system after system after system to try to pull myself back out of this full system shutdown. And I'm going to try to lay everything out. And my goal is just to be here, to prioritize my experience. And all right, let's just do it. So, what I found, the equation to life is pretty much these three things, right? One, know what to do and do it. It is that simple for every material plane, right? And if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, if I'm not doing that, there's an emotional block that is stopping me. So I need to figure out what that emotional block is and decrease it. Okay? And if I'm doing that, if I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? If I know what to do and doing it, then I can make things more fun, increasing emotional fuel. Okay, so in this moment, the emotions are kind of bearing down on me. So I'm going to go slower. I found that throughout my day, when I know what to do, when I have physical chores, like going to Costco, returning things, physical things, and if I do them, then I feel really good for that day. But if I don't know what to do and I'm trying to think about it, I have to think about the entire world, and that instantly puts me into an emotional spiral really easily. Okay? So, just like right now, and now I have to switch into emotional processing mode. The reason I do live video is to bring myself into this emotional state and to work on accepting myself and to realize that this part of me isn't my fault, that I'm trying my best. And even though I hate myself because I have this impossible standard, and that's the person I'm always comparing myself to. I know that I was ingrained to not like myself through the vast amount of trauma upbringing that has brought me into this emotional hole. So I invented Shadow Puppet Theatre to bring this part out of me. So these are all the different things I've been doing to address all my different selves simultaneously. I'm doing live video over and over and over, including right now. I'm letting go of the desire for this emotion to be different. Shifting into the emotional game versus the performance game. So there's an emotional game, mastering my emotions. And then there's a performance game, right? So like tap dancing. Da, 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 da. You know? So I'm trying to perform. I'm trying to um, do a good show. And when I do that, anxiety arises. Ah! Okay. And whenever anxiety arises, it shuts off my brain and pretty much puts me into a freeze. And when that happens, I can't perform. And if I keep my goal as performance, it's going to get worse and worse. And the worse it gets, the more I cringe. The more I cringe, the bigger the emotion gets. So then I invented Shadow Puppet Theatre, where I close my eyes. I don't even know how to draw that like that. I close my eyes. And so now, somehow by closing my eyes, it changes the entire state of my unconscious. I think a lot of my social um, conditioning, right? Operant conditioning, stimulus response, is triggered by visual stimulus. So when I close my eyes, it changes the entire state. And then I realize with every communication, there's two parties, imaginary parties. Right now, I'm speaking to a dot, right? So I know I'm speaking to myself. But even if I'm speaking to myself, which part of me do I think I'm speaking to? And which part of me do I think I'm speaking? So right now, I'm like the default Hector persona that I show the world. At least I try to show the world through these live videos. And I'm speaking to just this generic audience that I imagine, maybe like 5 or 10 people. That if I don't think about it, there's always a default. So this is how I see it, right? This is the vast auditorium, all these people out there. And this is the stage right here. Okay? I'm looking outwards into the stage or into the audience. And so in Shadow Puppet Improv Theatre, I declare my imaginary audience. I declare my imaginary audience as 8 billion people. Anyone who could even possibly be watching, I'm just going to assume they're all watching. Okay? So that is it. So I'm maxing out this entire possibility. All right? And who am I saying is speaking? Who am I? Right? So imagine this is like a choir, a chorus, right? A lot of different versions of me are back here singing or speaking. They can come out, you know. So who I am speaking as is a representative of all of humanity. I'm speaking an as one instance of all of humanity. That is the spell. Okay? So any possible fear falls within that spectrum, and that is an absolute truth statement. Right? So I'm using the absolute truths that I know and anchoring it into an experience, into a liberation spell. Okay? So now this entire theater, the goal is my liberation with myself. That's every person here, every single person there is me, because literally I'm just speaking to myself. So I'm imagining 8 billion versions of me that I'm speaking to, the versions of me inside my own brain that's listening to myself speak. And I'm imagining I'm also every person I could possibly pretend to be. Hector, Kuan Yin, uh, all the versions of me. Anxiety, phobia, freeze is back here. And I have found that I could also be this director voice that interviews my parts. I have this director voice. Okay. So, and I can self-parent myself and interview any shadow that pops up. So in this 1 second, shadow and freeze isn't here. I want to take this moment to kind of just be in this moment where normally I would feel this crushing wave of emotions. And because I don't feel it right now, I'm anchoring this moment and saying like, look, see? It isn't reality out there. It is emotions in here. So when I try to perform like, oh, I'm making a pitch, with investors and like it's got to be now or never, even if it's bad, you just got to go out in there and do it. Like, okay, that's performance. The game of emotions, however, it shifts the entire frame. Like the other day, I was trying to make the ferry and I didn't make the ferry, right? So I spent 3.5 hours getting somewhere. I was a half an hour, or I was an hour late for it. And then I had another 2 hour drive. It was a 5 hour trip for a half an hour little, it ended up, right? So the frustration of that, because I was trying to get an achievement, a performance. But then I realized I can take that frustration and turn the frustration into the game, right? And if I could master frustration just by a little bit, that kind of gain will compound throughout my entire life. So instantly it became a completely different game. Okay. And when I looked at it, I was just like so angry and frustrated, just like, ah, okay. And then it hit me that that's when I got the realizations like, oh, this isn't fear, this isn't anxiety, this is anger, this is hate, self-attacking myself, right? So then I looked back over all my different videos and like I realized when I freeze up, it's because there's a part of me that's just attacking and attacking and attacking. Like when I start to stutter and I start to freeze, I hate that feeling. I hate looking weak. And so a part of me just like starts wailing on me emotionally, which then triggers fear and hurt, which freezes me even more and gets me even more frustrated, and then it becomes a self destructive loop. And that's the loop I get stuck into. Okay, so this is Shadow Puppet Improv Theatre. That is one of the tools I've been using. I've been using live videos to intentionally activate this feeling, this social brain, this self-attack. Well, now I know it as self-attack. I just saw it, I previously saw it as anxiety. And I see that I'm comparing myself and be like, oh, and here's the thing. I only struggle. It's not a problem if I like freeze, but it's only a problem when I don't want to freeze and I'm not accepting that I'm trying to push through it. It's the lack of acceptance of where I am now. And the only reason I don't accept that because my self-image isn't actually down here. Right? This is reality. When I freeze up, when I struggle, that's the reality, right? But somehow my self-image has me like right here. Like I don't do that, right? This is the mask I show, I think. My self-image. Look, I got everything together. I don't freeze up. Okay. I never struggle. But I struggle a lot. I struggle with connecting with people. I struggle with getting the day-to-day things done. I have most of that handled now. Okay. And this is how. So when I wake up, I find that uh, when I'm struggling, it's because I don't know what to do or I'm not doing it. Okay. So this system allows me to see my entire life on one page. And this is where it starts. Mapping what is, right? That's Byron Katie's method of loving what is, ending war with existence. Okay. So this is me. Wherever I am, I draw a stick figure, boom, that starts out. So my brain has somewhere to anchor. Okay. So then where am I? I'm somewhere in time. So let's just draw this. Here's the day, right? Morning, morning routines, evening, evening routines, and then somewhere in the middle is how I spend my day. Boom. Now that I have an anchor to lock it in, all right? And then, man, my nose is irritated. So, time. I imagine, here's the other thing. Here's the smallest building block of existence, right? I have a physical body. What I should be doing is maybe brushing my teeth. Um, let's see, I usually do protein and vitamins in the morning, and then I get ready, put on clothes, and I'm ready for the day. Something like that, right? So this is a unit of action, task. So this is transportation layer. I'm moving my body from one task to another. This is as simple as representing life gets, right? So dot, dot, dot are the tasks that I've already systemized, so I don't have to think about it. So the, the secret of life, right, is one, know what to do and do it. So if I wake up in the morning, I do my morning routine, boom, I've hit free time. That's great. If I'm not doing that, if I'm tired in the morning, I don't want to get out of bed, well, find some way to decrease that emotional block so I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And then once I get that going, there's actually a lot of freedom in the action. It may be the same action, but there's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of games. I can close my eyes and wash the dishes, and it's a very different experience. I can walk to the restroom slower, and it's a very different experience. So by changing certain things, I can change the emotional experience. So I can up the emotional fuel, the fun. Okay. So this is the action layer, but what am I doing, right? So I need to know what to do, and this is the map that I've been using. Health, wealth, relationship in 3 ascending tiers. Imagine I have really great health, I have amazing wealth, and I have great relationships. How good is my life right now, you know? So, bottom tier is health 1, immediate physical health. Basic wealth is my immediate wealth, so my physical environment, my car, maybe car maintenance, my bank account. Okay? Immediate wealth. Relationships, these are my immediate relationships right around me. Okay. What's one step above physical health? Mental, emotional health, and then I add physical there. Okay. I can either train to make it stronger, I can enjoy it with healthy rewards, or maybe something is not quite right and I need to fix it. So that is like going to the doctor, right? Mental, emotional, physical. Okay. Then where does my immediate wealth come from? My job, career, or business. Okay. Then my relationships come from my community. And then the highest game is a fully embodied spirituality for health. While doing the things I need to do. Okay. And for wealth, I want to be aligned to my life purpose and become a financial bodhisattva. And for relationships on the highest tier, it's all shadow work. It's a realization that it is we're all one, it's all me, we're all family, and we're all Buddhas already. Okay, I'm just going to skip ahead. Community self-defense, boundaries, and judgments as shadow work. Okay, so I am always pushing up this hierarchy. And what this does is this is getting us above the deficit needs line of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay, so health, wealth, relationships gets us these 3. And then life purpose means we're doing what we love, we're getting paid, we have great relationships, and we have great health. After that, everything is bonus. Then we can do whatever we want. So what do people do? Have fun. R&R, or they do art, or they do science, or they work on themselves, self-actualization, or they try to play the biggest game possible, collective actualization. Okay? So by okay. Also imagine that each dot I achieve, everything I finish is like a Mario coin, you know? Ding! And the great things about these gamified apps, when you hit a reward, there's a sound, there's a visceral um, reward sound. It's like ring, 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 and then it flies up into the corner and it adds up to the coins. So as I am doing each of these tasks, I am converting time to value. I am getting the Mario coins, and I imagine them going up to the perspective area that gets accumulated. So if I wash my car, I've added value to my car. If I have cleaned my room, I've added value to my room. If I've exercised, I've added value to my health. All right, so now every action I'm doing, I know what I'm doing and why and where it is going towards my goals. All right, and then this is just the basics. This is maintenance. And then we take on a project that's worthy of our being, that's bigger than what we can achieve right now. In order to get there, we need to grow. There's four things that stop us. Distraction. If I get distracted, I'm not doing the thing, right? Okay. Then it's fear. Fear stops me from even starting. Like comedy improv, I used to be afraid of it, and I never started it until I just decided to take a class, okay? Then what the next hurdle is overwhelm. I'm in this right now. Like I'm starting to do a business. I got over my fear and I'm just starting to do it, but now like there's so many things. I don't know what to start. I don't know where to go. I don't know what I should do first. So overwhelm activates all my emotional traumas. And now um, and it activates fear, and then I want to get away from fear, so I activate distraction so I get washed out. Then it'll be boredom. Whew. And then, as long as I'm right here, I'm getting paid, so financially sustaining, and I'm on my life purpose. That's the goal. From here, I can just make steady improvements every single day, and eventually I will become world class. So here is where I'm going for. Here is this line right here, doing what I love, getting paid, have a great relationship, and have good health. This is the goal. This is always the goal. So, so now, everything I do, I always know what coin I'm earning, where that coin is going to. I have a full view of everything to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And while I'm doing that, I activate Mars, Mentally Augmented Reality System. Okay. So every moment, like right now, I can work on my posture. That's one of the elements of it. Okay. Imagine I have a heads up display right here. What would that heads up display show? So I'm going to bring it over and to here. Okay. This is my heads up display. I'm looking out into the world. This is the locus of control. Reality 2, daydream land. Reality 1 is the reality right in front of me. 0 is a reset, nothing's happening. Reality -1, 2, and 3. If I'm stuck scrolling Facebook, that's a -3. Fear heads-up display. Okay. And then, at every moment, I have my breath, speed, posture, and my emotional effort and effortless action. That is the one breath meditation. So no matter what I'm doing, these are options that are available whether I'm driving, whether I'm doing a live video, um, walking anywhere from one place to another. These things always exist. When I'm activated in my trauma, I lose sense of everything. I don't know what kind of controls, I forget what options I have. Here's another option I always have, my voice. So when I remember that, I can do things like practice toning, humming, singing. Ha ha da 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 dum. La ba ba la ba 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 ba. I can pretty much do this almost anything at any time. If I'm driving, if I'm kind of bored, it's like, oh, I can start humming. I can practice toning. I can anything with my voice. If I'm walking and I'm not driving, I can dance. Every moment, every movement is already a dance, right? So this is just a remembrance of like, wait, any task I do, I can wiggle my body a little bit and get into a groove and make life interesting. These are the spaces in between. So I like to draw a monkey here to remind me that I have a monkey body. And so it just has to move. If I want to stay happy, I got to get up and move. Okay? And then everything is grounded in a ground of nothingness. Okay, so this is kind of what I draw every morning. It's pretty quick, I draw a little stick figure, I draw a couple lines, a couple dots, I draw this, I draw this, I draw a tic-tac-toe, I draw a few of these things in here, I draw a triangle, line, line, and then there's 4, 3, 2. That's easy enough, right? And then I draw a box. I draw 4 little lines. I draw an arrow here. And this reminds me that I'm always going for my life purpose and to free myself financially to get above the deficit needs line. Boom! I draw this and I remember at all times what I am doing. Every action I'm doing is pushing me further up this hill. If I'm not doing that, it's because I've fallen into the emotional hole and I've stopped. I probably stopped somewhere. Scrolling Facebook, maybe. I feel bad about myself. I'm ruminating. Something. This is what I call step 2. I got to get out of that and back into action. I hear a counter voice in my brain saying like, "Oh, do we have to be productive all the time?" That's a separate issue, right? I want to be productive. I don't know what. This is how. And I don't have to. But while I'm doing the things I have to do anyways, I can be relaxing. I can be resting in action. So that is my emotional regulator. This, so it will fall down here. So again, this is like a normal person doing normal things. This becomes Mars program, mentally augmented reality system. Now we're adding superhuman consciousness with the tools we have already. This doesn't take anything new. Okay, so this is basically what I'm doing right here. In the morning, I'm drawing out my plan of the day, so I know what to do, and then I just go and need to get into action and do it. Because if I'm not doing that, I've fallen into an emotional hole, and I need to, but then I'll know that I've fallen into an emotional hole. Okay? And as I'm doing these things, as I'm walking to the bathroom, brushing my teeth, as I'm washing the dishes, I practice Mars. I practice my mentally augmented reality system, my Mars system. Okay. So let me move my head out of the way. Okay. So just remember the head is still there. To the left is my physical management system. Okay. Let me add something here. This is where the 5 dimensions of reality kicks in. So these are the basic maps I use every single day. The 5 dimensions of reality are mapped here. Okay? The physical dimension is right here. Symbolic dimension, maps of knowing what to do. It's right here. Imagine seeing a maze from the top down. Social dimension, other people. And emotional dimension. Plus the one that controls them all, the dimension of experiential, of me seeing the world from the inside out. Okay? These are the 5 different dimensions. And so this is the experiential dimension right here. See, these all these maps are starting to pull into one moment. It's all coming together. This is what this one moment holds. Okay? The maps are all right here. So even now I'm still pulling everything together so I see it all in one. Okay? This is one system, multiple parts. This is the experiential dimension no matter what I'm doing, even right now. When I activate Mars, I can remember that there's different realities. And I can slow down because I remember speed. I remember posture. I remember breath. When I activate Mars, I remember all these things. Instead of when I fall into the emotional hole, I forget all these things. Okay. Then, since this is right here, to the left is physical. So this is manages all my physical things. So it's as simple as this. I plan what I need to do for the day, right? I do it, and then I play while I'm doing it. That's the entire physical action. Okay, like I plan my routine. Maybe I go to Costco, return some things. Maybe I Uh, then I go get the mail, etc. Once I have a plan, I go and actually do that thing, one task after another. And while I'm doing that, I activate Mars, this augmented reality system, inside my own brain. And now I'm playing with the moment. Okay, that's physical actions and physical chores. Then, this side is my social regulator. Okay, I can't track everybody, so my policy is just to give out value no matter what. At least I try to. That's my general social strategy with anyone I meet. And should anything come towards me, I don't take it personally. Because anything that can happen exists within a spectrum of everything that can happen. So I deal with them as the possibility and not as the individual person. So if somebody yells at me, well, I switch to what do I do with someone yelling at me? If somebody cuts me off in traffic, oh, well, that's one of the possibilities that could happen. How do I handle that possibility? So I work on the spectrum of my abilities to handle everything that is instead of the individual instance or trying to project outwards like, oh, that person is whatever, XYZ. And then my judgments of others really just tells me what is going on inside my shadow self that gets me to judge other people that way. Right? So this is all shadow work within the social dimension in the moment. So everything collapses down into the moment, right? So this is the entire map, and then I'm doing it. So right now I'm doing the thing that I'm said I'm do, which is the live video. So again, I'm still here. I'm still in this plan. I am doing emotional strength training, maybe community work, but not really. I'm mostly doing mental, emotional, uh, and acceptance right here. That we're all one. I'm just speaking to myself. Okay. So so left side is physical, right side is social. Left side is physical, right side is social. So this is the way I handle most social situations. This is how I handle all physical situations. Do I need to fix the fence? Do I need to wash dishes? Do I need to wash my laundry? Do I need to pack? Right? Plan, do, and then play while I'm doing that. Okay? And then downwards, it's emotional. So this is my emotional processor. There's actually a couple. I imagine I do a superhero landing. All right. And down here is my emotional processors. So this is the emotional C. And if I've fallen into the emotional C, I'm tempted to watch videos to feel better, Facebook, or play video games. Okay? And that keeps me from feeling the emotions. I know this is often where I get stuck. So what I need to do is figure out where I am in my routine and just do that. So do what I have to do. This gets me out of the ocean and back into action. And then with free time, I can start investing in and building the life I want. And that at the end of the day, I can enjoy myself with a healthy treat And sometimes during the day, I can also exercise and train, like I'm doing right now with emotional strength training and emotional self acceptance of all my limitations, including this nose that's just like, feels like there's like a little hair that's just, oh, it's very irritating and it's distracting. And I want to ignore it. And it's like, wait, this practice is about accepting exactly myself as I am. And then my general emotional regulation system is this. Okay. It is, if I feel bad, I'm charging up for a better tomorrow by comparison. If I feel good, well, great. Make the most of it, you know? And at all times, I'm just resting. Even if I'm doing something, I can still be resting in action. So this is resting in action. Okay. And I have the parent child adult paradigm. My inner parent is reparenting myself. My inner adult has the last say as to what I do. Do I put on my seatbelts? Do I brush my teeth? Yes, that's not negotiable. But I don't have to struggle, so my child can work on just going along with these actions, and my emotional support, my emotional loving parent can support my child. Okay? So this is my emotional regulator. Underneath this is the shadow realm. This is where my emotions get blocked and stacked. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so it's got that, 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 and then this. This is what it looks like. The emotion is in the middle. I focus on the four primary emotions, at least my four primary emotions are fear, anger, hurt, and desire. Okay? And then underneath all the repression of fear, anger, desire, and hurt, because I can't show any of that, right? It puts my emotional self into a hole. And that's when I get triggered. I drop from anywhere doing actions, I drop all the way down into my childhood self that gets reactivated. And when I'm down here, I forget, I can't think of anything. It's just all darkness with a lot of hallucinations, not literal, but like everybody hates me, all these feelings and stories that I'm not good enough. But when I activate Mars, I can even activate Mars while I'm down here, and I can remember at least like, oh, I have breath. I can work my posture. I can slow down. And when I get up to here, instead of watching shows or movies, I can be like, okay, let's keep going on my routine list. Let's at least get that so we can get to free time. So this helps me climb all the way out. And so I know which emotions gets triggered, which one brings me all the way down here, and I can climb all the way back up into action, into knowing what to do and then doing it by having this map. And one of my best transmutations ever is we are infinity, playing small. Remember, we used to be infinity. There was no such thing as feeling small or introverted or bad. We wanted to know what it feels like to feel small and and to not like ourselves. It's really interesting. So that's how I flipped the script. Remember, I'm infinity playing small. It's like, yes, wow, I feel terrible. What an experience of being human. Okay, and these corners right here, this is all the negative emotions, all of them, right? I try to get away from that, but it's stopping me from progressing. These are all my positive emotions. These are the ones I want to chase, so I can be careful about that. This is the general strategy of going with the flow and letting go of emotional effort. So letting go of emotional effort into effortless action and effortless emergence. Upper right is using effort though, right? So going to point B, from point A to point B, living life fully. Remember, the goal is financial bodhisattva and being aligned to my life purpose. Boom. Even in my shadow realm, I now know which way to go. See, it's all consistent. This is going this way. This is going this way. It's all upper right. Well, this, yep. And so I'm aligning this map to this now. And, how long is, okay, 51 minutes. Okay, so at the very lowest is my primal map, my pleasure and pain. Before I had this map, I was too focused on the exception and made the exception the rule. Okay, so generally, pleasure is good. A hug, eating healthy food. When we do things that are good for us, we feel good. However, there are certain pleasures that are bad for us, and those are addictions. So normally pleasure is good, except for the exception where it's bad. Normally pain is bad, like my hand is getting burnt or getting hurt, right? So that's normally bad, except for some pains are good, exercise pains. However, when I focus too long on the pleasures that are bad and the pains that are good, I invert the entire equation. So I don't pursue the pleasure that is good and I don't avoid the pain that is bad. And it makes my entire emotional life upside down. So I needed this fish to flip it back upside, right side up. And so this is also the explanation of why all positive emotions are good and all negative emotions are also good in that it steers us away from what is bad for us, and including knowing the exception. This is how to calibrate our primal pleasure and pain drives. And so this is how I imagine each instance of life, where every creature operates this way. Every single creature. And so this is my symbol for life. Okay, so these three are my three emotional stacks to understand emotions. Pleasure and pain, all positive and negative emotions. Desire, fear, anger, hurt, the primary basic animalistic emotions. Feeling like I'm in an emotional hole. The general goal of chasing what we want successfully, letting go of the effort required that isn't required, facing the negative emotions, and then enjoying the positive ones. Boom. See, that covers the entire spectrum. This is the inner parent, child, adult, right? So this becomes more the human side of things. And then up here is the moment by moment awareness, managing my physical reality, managing my people reality, and then up here would actually be managing what I'm supposed to be doing. So this is my map. This is the cube, by the way. This opens up to this. And so this map gives me a way through this maze. Otherwise, this maze is twisty, turny. I don't know which way to go. And with the maze, I know I can map my way through. I know what to do. And then I go and do it. And let's get the screen back. So this is my entire system. And it's all coming down, becoming one. So when any action I do, I know which action I'm doing because I mapped it out, either systems. So as I'm doing those, I have this in my mind. I have all these options that are simultaneously, like I always have my emotional regulators. If I'm working with people, this is what I do. Working with physical things, I just plan it out and I do it and it's done. If I need to do symbolic things, I need to plan it out. There's actually one layer above here, which is to plan emotional work, and that's trickier, but still, same thing. These are the 5 games that I'm always playing, and it's all coming together, right? I plan what I'm doing, I go and do that, and then I add the augmented reality on top. This is the advanced game. It's all in one. In this one moment, I know what I'm doing it, and I know all the different things that are going on simultaneously in this one moment. Right, and systems, skills, and shadow. These are the 3 solutions to any problem. Do I need to put in or change the system? Is there a skill that I'm missing? Or is there a shadow from my past that is trapping me? System is pretty much morning and evening routine and then free time. And then I need to have a routine. I need to have a system for my free time. So I have this map to know which area I need to work on. System. Is there a skill? So right now I'm training my emotional skill because it drops me into this 0 point where I cannot perform, because the more I try to perform, the bigger my shadow gets and the more it shuts me down. So this is the self-sabotaging shadow that I'm working on, right? And in order to do that, I activate a live video and I stop hiding. I bring what's on the inside outside, okay? And I give my shadow a voice. So I start naming them, I start knowing them, and I also acknowledge them in front of what I am claiming to be 8 billion people, everyone I could possibly respond to. So I can actually externalize my critics and be like, oh, that's a critic voice. Okay. Like, oh, that's you. Okay, now I can speak to my critic as somebody out there, which is still in here. And most of my other internal audience is just cheering me on as an example of humanity and as one instance of humanity. And anything I can do can only happen within the realm of humanity. There's nothing I can do that is not acceptable. So this gives me unconditional acceptance. And then my narrator, my director can give me universal love. So this is going into my emotional training. So emotional training, physical training, symbolic training, social training. That is the whole game. So I can see everything on one page, and that's why I'm so excited. And that's an hour. I will see you all later.